Naruto 639 viewer comments. Is No Good is gonna get us started off. Very interesting chapter. I was impressed by Kishimoto, especially when Madara jumped in. I think this chapter was meant to show that the Jubi isn't just words, but actually show that he's really that powerful. Regarding Sasuke, a few chapters back, he said he wants to destroy all the Bijuus. And I think what you're saying here is Kurama and Naruto are not going to let that happen. You remind me about Jiraiya and his discussion with the Oracle Frog. I forgot his name. The frog said he will make an important decision. Okay, Naruto Wiki. Firstly, okay, the Toad Sage, I believe Honorable Geezer, the Great Honorable Geezer. I don't want to short the guy on his title. Firstly, that he, Jiraiya, would go on to become both a talented ninja and a pervert without equal. Jiraiya would walk across the world as a sage, observing all creation, watching as nature takes its course, and in doing so, he would also write a book. Jiraiya was also told that he would one day have a student with the power to save or destroy the world, and that it would be Jiraiya's actions that will determine which path his student takes. I still want to throw in here that the idea that Minato could actually still technically fulfill that function, okay, since he's brought back Anito and he's got the other half of Kurama, so anyway, I just think that would be an awesome twist, and then the next arc, which has to be a big one anyhow, they actually face whatever it is. Maybe it's Ochimaru or what have you, but anyway, just a little twist there. Really appreciate your comment and you being first. And let's see, before I get to the other comments, just I've been playing. This is really short. I've been playing a lot of Crusader Kings 2. This game is so addictive. It's just amazing. I mean, it's one of those things like the next thing you know, hours have passed. But anyway, getting back to Naruto. Okay, NW Order for Life. Well, he did cut Kakashi's arm, LOL. I guess plot would be the answer, and like I said, nobody represents the old way of thinking more than Naruto. Sasuke probably views Kakashi as someone that just wanted to tell him how to live, whereas Naruto is that staunch defender of everything Sasuke hates. Genosaurf, that's a very good point. Shows how dumb Sasuke is. Really, Kakashi only wanted to protect him. And NW Order for Life. I think it's more than Kurama. Remember that killing Bijuus makes them respawn anyway. He wants to kill Naruto to break his bonds. For a reason he feels bonds make the shinobi weak. Good point. He does not describe, which is the opposite, of course, of your typical hero doesn't think that way. He does not subscribe to the WOF at all. Kishi is making this personal between Naruto and Sasuke because otherwise Sasuke has no reason to say what he said in this chapter. He's looking to kill Naruto and thus kill his old self who is weak. To kill the old way of thinking that Naruto has, which is against Sasuke's belief. Genosaurf, good point, but if that was true, why wasn't there a cross on Kakashi's face? He shares a strong bond with Kakashi because Kakashi sees Sasuke as a younger version of himself. Kakashi taught Sasuke a lot too, so why would he only be Naruto? He wants, let's say, to kill. Okay, and let's see, we got another round here. NW Order for Life. Well, I meant feat-wise is this chapter specifically. I like Tobirama. I've defended him against the people that said he was a bigot, etc. Okay, before we continue on with this, he's a bigot. I think we all covered this. The only problem is as what usually happens anyhow, is so is the majority of other people. When you actually look at it, they have bigoted problems or issues. They're killing each other. Okay, and what you do to kill people is you dehumanize them. You take their humanity away by various means. And so whether it's bigotry or this or that or what have you. But anyway, I'm glad you defended him because it definitely needed. The character isn't just that. Okay, he's that because of what's happening around him. He isn't just that. He's more important than that, I think. Anyway, moving on. Okay, and the retort to that is Genesaur Sasuke wants to kill Naruto because Naruto has Kuruma within him. Kuruma is a tailed beast, and Sasuke wants to get rid of the tailed beast and change the world system. Wow, you really got right to it. Why else would he want to kill him? It's obvious he plans to kill Naruto because of Kuruma, and I've never been so confident in one of my theories. Guarantee you. Well, this is true. They're at the heart of this whole world system, the fighting over the tailed beast, which you've laid out pretty well. The whole system, I mean, they're fighting over the tailed beast, which is like natural resources or whatever, which they are, power. And then the whole money system, it's all based, there's all this money getting thrown around to hire these people that keep the wars going on. So, very good points. Really do appreciate it. That's a very good back and forth, by the way. Comment Bob 9. Tobirama is a cunning strategist who always has a plan no matter what the situation. He's probably the strongest water user in Naruto. He defeated Izuna, one of the strongest Uchiha out there. He laid down the foundation of Konoha, brought democracy. He's a bigoted Democrat, but there you go. And love him or hate him, his methods made the village strong. In fact, he's been just a bit less hardcore militaristic. He would easily have been the best Hokage, and I expected we'd see some great things from him in the fight. This is, you know what you really want to see as a character, what I want to see? You want to see the complicated characters. Okay, somebody that's got some evil thing with him, but then some good thing. And then you want to see the good person. Right, even your hero has bad stuff in him. I mean, look at all the stuff that Naruto's had to constantly, you know, the victimization of himself. You know, the self pity that all human beings get, that you have to get to grips with and try to get as much of it out of you as possible because you can't function as a person with it. So that's what makes characters. And most, I mean, look at Itachi. Is there ever a more complicated, crazy, interesting character than this guy? If there is, I want to know about it. That is just hero, villain, hero, whatever. That's insane, isn't it? But anyway, awesome comments as always. Really do appreciate it. Comment Bob 9. And it was a good back and forth with NW Order for Life and Genesaur. Alright, and back to, actually it's Comment Bob 9. We'll comment more later, but now I'll just say, Tobirama's boss. You may not like some of the things that he did as Hokage, but he's a boss, second Hokage for the win. And then NW Order responds, what was so impressive? He only did one jutsu, and it was basically a weaker version than Konan's. Granted that she had days of prep, but still. Okay, well, I think you're playing the devil's advocate there. And then we're going to, okay, let's see. And Conley Bob, are you actually responding now? You're just saying, okay, let's see what we got there. And we're going to Jazz0114. As previous comments have stated, Sasuke most probably wants to get rid of the tailed beast. And Kuruma would not be an exception. When he says he is going to change the system of the ninja world, he probably means that the power struggles between villages using the tailed beast needs to be destroyed, since this is the theory. I also predict that Sasuke will kill Killer Bee. What better way to spark a battle with Naruto than to kill one of Naruto's closest comrades, who is also a Jinchuriki? That makes a lot of sense. It's kind of sad, and Killer Bee's been another character that just hasn't been given enough. But then again, almost all characters in Naruto are in a similar boat. So there you are. There's the whole thing about there's too many characters. Well, there are too many characters in Naruto. There are too darn many. You could probably have about 20% as many as you have, and it'd be perfectly fine. They're awesome, but then you can never, there's no time to go back to them. Anyway, good points, and let's see. Okay, is no good is likes the prediction that was made about Killer Bee. It does mix. You can kind of see it, but I hope that doesn't happen, because it does. You can see it though, because he's like, well, let me get the rest of the tailed beast, and and somehow he keeps not being able to get Naruto, and he gets Killer Bee, and then for dramatic. I hope it doesn't happen, because to me that's kind of cheesy, Because, I mean, we're already easily expecting that kind of route. I hope that doesn't happen. Appreciate your comments. Janisaur, Kakashi is actually one of my favorite characters, as you have said many times before. So that would be an amazing ending. I hope he doesn't die, but I think he will. Anyway, that would be a pretty amazing end for him. Though, and actually you were responding to Justin Soda, I believe it. Yeah, actually I want Kakashi to die. Not because I dislike his character, but because I think he deserves a gallant death like Jiraiya, rather than a sappy end where he lives and becomes Hokage. Maybe, I imagine this at the end. After all this is done with Kakashi died, notably when there sits in his room or the Hokage office, how many years from the present, staring at 4 pictures, his dad, mom, 2 incredible teachers. That'd be a great final page. And yeah, he deserves a yet another, well, definitely a better ending than last time. That was his part of it was, but anyway, I wasn't happy with that whole thing. But and then when he did die, there was a whole misleading thing in the anime that wasn't in, or in the anime that wasn't in the manga, that made it seem like Toby actually greeted, or Obito greeted him and gave him the thumbs up, which didn't happen in the manga. But anyway, I appreciate your comments. Okay, and let's see if I can. Okay, and Justin Soda again. Of course, Naruto can't die. That part is obvious. But part. Excuse me. I got some water here. All right. Being the hero of the war is actually possible. He currently is one of the strongest ninjas on the battlefield and the only Uchiha fighting against Madara and Obito as well. The universe of Naruto is already graduated from its strict rule-based government and is now more fairy tale-ish, where the power of speech can overcome most obstacles. It's highly unlikely that the village will turn against Naruto in that sense. Janisaur responds, he won't die yet, obviously, but it's pretty obvious either Sasuke or Naruto will die. It certainly won't be a happy ending. I also think Kakashi will die. I love the character of Kakashi, but everybody else does. I haven't. I'm sure there's some people out there that hate Kakashi. I've never heard of him respond. He's always like a top 5, or I know in polls he's always one of the top 5 characters, top 3 characters in Naruto. Kakashi is just real likable. So. But anyway, I mean, anyone that's suffered that much is that much a badass. And the way that they had him, like I said, they had him designed that he didn't have much chakra. He always had to be extraordinarily intelligent, which made him much. The challenges make the characters more interesting. So he had all this potential, but he had a big challenge too. Appreciate the comments, and let's see. XX Avenger Legend. I think Sasuke will be the hero of the war and defeat the Jubi. It would put a huge spin on the story once he reveals his motives of killing Kurama. Then the shinobi have to ask themselves, is Kurama too dangerous to keep alive? And Madara's trump card is the Izami Gegetsu on the Jubito. I don't know if you can do that on something that much more powerful than you are. So I don't know. That would be, I don't know. But once again, there's so many possibilities. It's just Naruto has been so incredible that way. Whenever this is over, a year from now or less, whatever, man, we're going to miss this. And I feel solid that the ending is going to be awesome, because as we've gotten through the Obito reveal and everything, especially with the Edo Kages and everything, the story's got so much more solid. And NW Order for Life responds to that. This is just something that can't happen. With the exception of a few rookies, everyone hates Sasuke. He's known as an international criminal and traitor to the Leaf. Meanwhile, Naruto is known as Konoha's hero, and nobody in the entire alliance would support killing Kayui's Jinchuriki, killing Naruto in the process, because everyone in the alliance loves Naruto as well. He's pretty much the hero of this war. I do like the idea, but I don't think we've seen politics or whatever that complicated. I mean, if you notice, they just kind of touch on it and move on. The idea is interesting. The tale, that like the Jinchuriki would now be outcasts, and they would try to get rid of them. I don't know, but I don't think that's at all what the story is. I like the idea that Obito would sacrifice himself to fulfill the prophecy and redistribute after he attains some victories here and releases the Jubi into either their original form or some kind of humanoid form or something like that. They're not tailed beasts anymore. And I think that's what's going to happen. It would make sense that Sasuke seems to have, he has enough information. If you notice, he gets enough information to win whatever the battles are, but Sasuke never seems to get the big freaking picture. Okay? He never seems to get it. He's always the angry person that's being manipulated by some. He's the Avenger. He's the person in this haze of anger and everything like that. Sure, he's talented. He's got all these skills, but he's always being manipulated by someone else, and he just doesn't seem to ever get above it to get the big freaking picture. But anyway, you get the idea. Moving on. Okay, is no good. Can't wait to see Jiraiya coming in. That's huge. The whole thing, Jiraiya. And we've already talked about it. Rue would definitely have his DNA, definitely have some way to do it. That may be yet another trump card, and that would, of course, be an interesting conversation. Everybody else is back. Why not Jiraiya? And now, you know what? Even the most blatant fan service would be, I think, for the most part, forgiven by Naruto fans because they just want to see the character again. Like, he's not. I don't dislike Jiraiya, but he's definitely extremely popular, and I'm in a minority that's just like, well, he's okay, he served his function. I was never that big a fan of him. Don't hate him, just not a huge fan. Okay, and let's see. But anyway, continuing on. Assuming that he's been revived. I don't understand the part when you were talking about Naruto being the hero in the end. Can you tell me more about what's your prediction? Okay, I don't know if you're talking to me or whatever. I can't wait to see. I don't know who you're responding to. Let's see. G. Gorsey. When Sasuke said he's going to erase the past, that meant he was going to erase all the bad stuff he did. Maybe not. A little more positive spin on it than just simply killing everything, but I think he wants to kill everything. I just think that somehow inside Sasuke in him is wanting to fix his screw-ups, but I could still be totally, completely wrong. Well, as we all are, because Kishimoto really ends up kind of doing his own thing a lot. I like that. That's a positive spin, but that would probably be more fairy tale-ish. I don't think that's. I think Sasuke's pretty freaking hardcore, man. I like your idea. I don't think that's going to happen. But I even like I like how everybody on here really understands that we're all just taking shots at it, and it's awesome when we're right, but it's not a big deal. We're just having fun. Anyway, appreciate your comments. Michael Gethman, I love this chapter. I wouldn't be surprised if Kishi decides to make multiple battles out of a war again. Sasuke versus Naruto, Madara versus the Jubito, the Alliance. What an end to this chapter this week. Both Naruto and Sasuke are in danger of being killed by Jubito. Can't wait for next week. Thanks for your insightful reviews each week. Steve, not a problem. I just get things started, and it all goes from there. I do. The ending is awesome. Kishimoto knows how to do an end, doesn't he? He knows how to keep. Oh, well, Naruto and Sasuke are about to get their brains blown off. Okay, that's quite a cliffhanger. Now, we know it is going to happen, right? Like everybody's saying, but still. All right. Appreciate the comments. Killer B11 or 1-1. Maybe the Hachibi save the day next week. He's been sidelined, and he should be part of that elite group. Also, I don't think we've seen Minato this desperate, so it could happen. That'd be pretty interesting. Yeah, B, as we've already. Just one last thing on B. He's a character that pretty much every time either there's an opportunity for him or he just gets a few, you always hear at least a few people go, there's always this constant thing, we need more Killer B. It's just what you're hearing out there. It's pretty constant. There's a group of people, and usually people agree because it would be actually pretty nice. But then this thing would probably be about 2,000 chapters if Kishimoto actually did a halfway decent job of getting everybody some kind of proper time like they should. All right. Well, anyway, G. Gorsi responds to this. Sasuke, shut up and analyze Naruto. Naruto, you're the one with the Sharingan. Ha ha ha. All right, there we go. Actually, that wasn't really one response. It was just a comment. Okay, reacted 1991. I don't know why, but the way they showed the last panel shows Naruto and Sasuke. When Obito's eyes makes me think he's going to switch Naruto's and Sasuke's eyes. Somehow. Not sure what might happen. But will make things interesting, either that or someone saves them. Well, the eye switch is a hell of a twist. I don't know what the justification would be, but it would blow everyone's mind. The only thing is the whole like impact thing he's doing goes through the. We've seen that before, and that doesn't switch eyes. So I actually would like to see that just to stun everybody, but that'd be pretty crazy. But we never know. Something like that could happen, or whatever. It'd be pretty crazy. Eyeballs go all over the place in this series. Appreciate your comments. Okay, Armin Gregorian. This is going to be the last arc in Naruto, and Naruto is going to be the one who kills Obito. And since Sasuke has to be here too, I think Sasuke is going to kill Madara. Well, I'm just going to come. Well, I mean, Madara comes back and he kills him. That would be interesting. Let's see. I really do think there's going to be some discussions in the mind of Obito. Obito's going to have Naruto go in there, and I don't. As much as I like Naruto, I wouldn't want him in my head, and especially the Tail of Beast and everything. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to that, but that's been a prediction that's been out there for a long time now. And I'm sure I'm not the only person saying that, but I actually have been. Okay, appreciate your comments. Funkador92832. I think that Sasuke needs the Rinnegan to keep up with Madara and Naruto. I mean, we all know Naruto will become Sage of the Sixth Path, so Sasuke needs more power, and I don't see Sasuke keeping up against Naruto even when Bijuus Ninetales as much as he is now with half power. Well, you know, another thing that happens is Sasuke usually was ahead of Naruto, but Naruto would always have some trump card or something. And, I mean, it looks like the same way, but I mean, I think what's different now is we all know it. We can all see the possibilities. Naruto's so far ahead of Sasuke, it isn't freaking funny. Okay? So, Sasuke thinks that I think he's about mid-range, to be perfectly honest right now. He isn't. I don't see him as. I don't know. I couldn't tell you how many people are ahead of him, but he isn't. I mean, there's probably getting rid of the Itos. I'm saying probably 10 characters that are ahead of him. That might be a stretch, and maybe somewhere between 5 and 10 that are definitely ahead of him. But probably about 10. But anyway, it's just a guess. But he's definitely not above Naruto. There's no freaking way. All right, and let's see. Okay, appreciate your comments. Okay, NW Order for Life. Okay, you're getting to the whole Madara Hashirama thing. Madara is going to fight Hashirama because that's all he cares about. Once he's done getting his fix, he will either immobilize Hashirama or destroy him long enough until he can try his trump card. Right now, Hashirama is probably a threat to Madara's trump card. But Madara will fail, and that's his MO for the entire series. He's a failure, like most likely like Bito. Will take care of him once he regains consciousness. Also, Sasuke wants to kill Naruto. He still believes in crushing bonds of power. Yeah, I don't know. Evil Sasuke was always going to win out from the beginning. And he really, I mean, and when you go back and see his childhood and everything, it is pretty messed up. I mean, the guy has been pretty messed up, and there's a lot of sympathy for Sasuke, but but anyway, this is all stuff we've covered before, and let's see, the whole thing about, this is what gets me, why does he want to, I mean, I'm kind of at the point, I mean, they're Itos, I don't even see the point to this. Is it just he's wanting to test his power? But he has to do this thing before Jubito figures it out. That's the thing. This is what I believe I said in my review. There's a time factor with this whole thing. Okay? This isn't just we can goof around. Jubito figures it out. I don't have a trump card anymore. In the perspective of Madara. So, I don't know. The whole thing, he's like, well, let's have a, I don't see it. Unless somehow that figures into what he would need to do. But then, did he really know that an Edo Hashirama was going to be running around? He didn't know he was going to be brought back the way he was. So I don't think it has anything to do with the trump card. It's something implanted in Obito that's still there. Whether he's got to activate the will of Madara from afar, why he didn't do it to get him to, I don't know. It's confusing, but the battle makes no sense to me at all. Whatever. I would think he needs to get around and away. Like I say, just something like that. Just say something to him. Anyway, appreciate your comments. Okay, and let's see. Okay, Rue Hood. To me, the end of this chapter sets up the return of the 5 Kages. Minato won't be able to save Naruto and Sasuke in time, and this could mean that Tsunade, or more controversially, the Raikage, he's got the speed to make it in time, and him saving Sasuke could really show how dire the situation in the battlefield is. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well said. Granted, the scene will become even more crowded, but they will get there eventually, and I see this as being the ideal moment to show up. 2 things. First, the whole idea of, that's another element there. Okay, you could still have, right, the Kages come in and still make some kind of an impact and save the day and do something. It's still a possibility. Kishimoto's got all these other possibilities out there. I want to say a quick thing on the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay, that's what's called that's what's called short-term thinking. Okay, that's how you can try to defeat someone quickly. And this is usually in politics, or this is used around the world, different groups of people against each other and whatever. We're talking more in a historical sense or whatever. The problem with that strategy, okay, is what you usually, okay, usually there's reasons that they're enemy, and a lot of times you find out your enemy, okay, it didn't have to be, and sometimes you find out that the enemy of your enemy, that's your friend, is pretty bad, and you end up overthrowing this other person, and now they get with your enemy, because that's now their. You see what it's. You end up like in the Middle East. I'm just going to go there, where you have a lot of people constantly fighting, but not actually winning because of the changing alliances, because everybody's got an enemy of an enemy friend. You see what I'm saying? Things are never resolved. Okay, and but anyway, get into kind of politics and strategy. But moving on. Appreciate your comments. And let's see, Panamantis. I have a few theories. LOL. Madara, number 1, Madara and Hashirama will fight because Madara gets impatient and maybe tests his trump card against him. Like I said, I don't think it's his trump card. I don't think he has the trump card. It's something that he's implanted. Remember, he had the will of Madara in the cave, and he had the stuff that he had put in. There's something to activate, and he may need to get back to the cave and get whatever the hell it is, while he can still use it. So I'm figuring that's what it is. Remember, it's like the trident, and then he thinks that's the only thing to me that makes any sense. So he needs to get to that. And I still think that he's probably going to convince Hashirama, hey, let me go, or we're all going to lose to Jubito. So, number 2, Minato analyzing a flaw in Jubito, and will guide Sasuke how to beat him against his flaw, with Naruto aiding him. I like it. I like that. That would be pretty freaking cool. I like that idea. Number 3, when the 5 Kages are back to the battlefield, Orochimaru's scroll will help Madara with his trump card to beat Jubito like an advanced Gegetsu ceiling. What do you think? And thank you. Keep up the good work. I appreciate the encouragement. I don't know. I still think this. the scroll. There's so many things just on the periphery that Kishimoto can bring in now. You know, there's just so much out there. I appreciate your comments. There's a lot to think about there, actually. Okay, and let's see. Penimantis, want to add another thought? Minato said, Obito still can't fully control the Jubi. Which kind of goes to the other thing, whatever the weakness is. But it is interesting that the Kages are looking at him, and I guess maybe they've seen, you know, so many tailed beasts, and they're like, well, this guy, they can see the problems, or it's the energy that they can see that's not focused properly, or what have you. But anyway, appreciate the comments. And if I don't say I appreciate your comments, don't worry. I just I get wrapped up in what I'm reading a lot. Okay, so it's just random, like pretty much everything I do in this. KX Mixer X. I'm glad we finally see Tobirama do something in this chapter. Let's see. Glad to see you back. By the way, man, I was starting to wonder if you'd abandoned the whole YouTube reviewer gig. No. And last week I had it was about 2.5 days. Somebody construction or something destroyed a cable, so I didn't have internet for a few days. The beginning of last week. So no, I'll always be back. And then sometimes, excuse me. And sometimes I get distracted. I have sometimes I have an issue of when I want to do something, I can't. I have to do something else, and then you know what I mean. And then you get the reverse. And then you get the situation where you can. And you're like, I really don't feel like doing it. So, but anyway, that's real world. And Crusader Kings 2, man, that thing is just, you know, that's one of those things like, you know, okay, I'm gonna quit, and then you start looking at the possibilities and all the stuff that you got going on. And that's another hour or two's gone. You're like, wow. But anyway, hey, life's to have fun. It's short. I'm 47, man. You know, I don't think I'm gonna be here another 47 years either. Enjoy it while you have it, my friends. Okay, we'll see, that's a response to this. Okay, Janisorf, a true shinobi is Itachi. He sacrificed everything for peace and to prevent war. That is a true shinobi. And what's so interesting is the debate that you can have on that. He really did... He sacrificed himself, but then, of course, but he was a kid, you know. The choices he made were evil. Did he really know that? Did he, yeah, you know. Were they the best of the circumstance? But you can definitely make an argument for that. And then Justin Soda says, yeah, I'm saying is that Sasuke is basically trying to knock off Itachi in that sense. He's trying to do the good that Itachi did, but using his unorthodox methods. Can I just say evil? Of course, Itachi will always be a true ninja. I'm just thinking that there is a lot of brotherly influence in Sasuke, and that he's trying his hardest to follow the same path as Itachi, albeit a strange and controversial one. Well said. Like I say, though, Itachi, at least, he got evil, but at least I think that Itachi had choices. Every time that Sasuke seems to have a choice, his self-pity, his anger, his rage. Have you noticed his rage, you know, throws him in another direction. So he's Don Quixote, he's always chasing after windmills, he's always trying to, you know, it just doesn't end with him. But anyway, good points, and let's see here, and this is for DT Ninja. Okay, and this is from you. Okay, this is really confusing me now. Okay. In reply to, and I'm just going to read these randomly. Okay, Justin Soda, I completely understand where you're coming from, but remember Kakashi only accepted his past with Obito's help, without Obito to guide him to his senses. He was just basically a militaristic Sasuke. Also think about it. If Sasuke doesn't do that, and he's doing what he's doing now, what on earth would he do? He can't make any career choice changes where he's, well, since he's an international criminal, that would kind of, he can't just do a ramen shop now. It would kill him. It's a little too late for that. Okay, he could go back to the village. his only true friend would be Naruto, and he'd still have the internal criminal tag stapled to his forehead. I guess he could start up an Akatsuki group for good. Well, Justin Soda, I like that. I like where you're going there. That is pretty good. And, okay, like I said, this is going to kind of be random because there's a lot of everybody's responding to everybody. Okay. Okay, okay, hold on. Another one from Justin Soda. I agree that Sasuke's way isn't exactly the right way, but then again, comparing his past to Naruto's and B's is a bit of a stretch, since they only suffered loneliness while Sasuke suffered despair. Also, I actually think Sasuke is a true shinobi, and that since seeing he is willing to destroy all that he cares for, all his memories, all of the present in order to regain what is right in his eyes, I would say he's blinded. It's more like he's just has a one-track mind. LOL. Yeah, a lot to be said there. He does keep this. Okay, now here's the next thing I'm going to avenge and destroy. DT Ninja, looks like you're responding to that. Thanks for your comment and respect. Did I just read this? Learn to accept. Okay, but I just think he should learn to accept his past and move forward. That is how people in real life endure. Well said. Look at how Kakashi lived his life after his father died and his situation with Rin and Obito. He endured so much pain and suffered and even loneliness. Not once did he falter. He endured it all because he accepted his past and where he came from, and he grew stronger because of it, and that's why he's such a great character. What's interesting about Kakashi is the way he responded to his father's death was totally the wrong way. It was to go hardcore Danzo. And it was Obito that the death and the sacrifice that he showed that just power slapped him back. And he saw that what kind of world is it without if you're fighting, you need something to fight for. Your friends, you need something positive. Simply just going around and being an automaton, just a robot killing machine just isn't where it's at. So gosh, Naruto. Kishimoto, thank you so much for this series. This is awesome stuff. Alright, Justin Soda. Okay. People keep saying that Sasuke wants to kill Naruto. And that's why he saved him. I don't think that's exactly true. I think he'd be more like Sasuke wants to erase the past, and the only way he knows how to do that is by eliminating the present. Thus, he intends to demolish all that is close to him. The alliances, the village, everything, and start from scratch upon the rubble of his flattened memories. By saving Naruto, I think that he is merely protecting his own ideals. I think you already, this may be a repeat, because I think you pretty much already said that somewhere in the past. Let's see, DT Ninja has a couple of comments responding, it looks like. Okay, DT Ninja 831. Interesting points, but I feel that Sasuke is being very stupid here. He says, I will delete the past. I heard there was a lot of issues with the translation of that. Cut the past, delete it, whatever. Some kind of alter it, destroy it. Only cowards run from the truth. His hate and his arrogance blind him from the truth that Naruto and B have learned to share their pain with the Bijuus, and now that hate they once had has been lifted. This is why he wants to kill Naruto, because he thinks that destroying all the Bijuus will bring balance to the shinobi world. He should have taken notes while listening to both Itachi and Hashirama. Sasuke just doesn't get it. I mean, he doesn't. Like I said, it's always the avenge mode with this guy. And DT Ninja 31 continues. Sasuke doesn't seem to grasp the meaning of shinobi. A true shinobi is one who endures no matter what. Throwing away your past would be the opposite of that. You know what really gets me, and about this whole thing, is the truth in it. Actually, I mean, I realize this is just anime. It's just a manga. It's just all this. But even if a person is justified to be angry, is justified to be miserable by what's happened, to get revenge on do you want to live in that mode? Just because it's if you I'll just talk just for a moment here. I mean, if you're driving and someone cuts you off, you have a choice. People have choices. They think, oh well, now I have to respond in this way. Okay, well, you know what I mean. I have to respond in a way, that's negative or this and that, or I can just say to hell with it because I'm thinking of the big picture and just whatever. I've got to go somewhere else and I don't have to engage with this person, or I don't have to if you have a choice. But a lot of times people just think, well, here's an opportunity, or here's this. They don't realize you have choices. You have choices. Okay. Anyway, there's some other examples, but for my military stuff, but I think everybody gets the idea. I appreciate your comments. And let's see. Aylin Han. He didn't use wood style. That was Hashirama's clone. And he's not using the power he had in his prime because his Edo body is not from his prime, and he wasn't god of the shinobi world. Also, the sage didn't have a Sharingan Rinnegan mix. He only had the Rinnegan. The eye thing is kind of that's kind of interesting. Is Jibito going to go back to his parallel, his dimension? Because that leaves that open with him keeping the eye. I'm still shocked that he didn't do the Danzo thing and have eyes all over him. Because he has the Zetsu. I don't know why he doesn't have more eyes. I don't know. That whole thing kind of freaked me out. And he's only running around in britches now, so unless he's got them on his legs, I don't think he's got any more eyeballs running around. So let's hope not, at least. Anyway, appreciate your comment. Okay, and then DT Ninja 831 responds to this. He goes, "Wow, Madara gets off his ass and Obito falls apart. Coincidence or Kishimoto? Obito obliterates the Edo Kage's defenses with his awesome spherical energy, combining several elements to create one ultimate power. Even the strongest shinobi fall before his unstoppable force. Hiruzen lost his head, literally. I can't wait to see Minato use his ultimate technique. It may be a defensive technique that can restrict Obito's movements. Nice review and keep up the good work." Appreciate it. Appreciate your kind words as always. And let's see. Awesome exchange there. That's pretty good. And let's see. And I have absolutely no idea. I haven't even looked at the time once. How long this is going on. I couldn't care less. I'm just having fun. All right. And let's see. Veg to Badass. Okay. Did anyone else notice the third using wood style? And in that one panel, also, why is Kishi not showing the power the third had in his prime? He would have that. As in, Edo was the god of the shinobi world in his prime also. Why doesn't Obito, as his host of the Ten Tails, have Rinnegan in this Sharingan mix? Okay, he didn't in prime. Okay, this is kind of confusing me, but anyway. And considering the Jubi is his second form, had it. Okay. No, I'm not going to reread that again. So that it just kind of confused me. So I'm going to move on. Sorry about that. And let's see. Conley Bob 9. Okay, are you responding to that? No. I think that Madara is cocky and smug enough that he wants to beat Hashirama before bringing out his trump card on Obito. I just can't see it. There's a time element to it. But anyway, you continue on. Right now, Obito has thousands of other ninja to distract him from his fight, and Madara doesn't care if he should pick up a punch off of them. His thinking seems to be, let the boy have his fun for now. Once I'm done with Hashirama here, I'm coming in and I will be a great disciple. Well, he's already said like twice, basically. I don't remember exactly, but he said he needs to find this initially when he mentioned the trump card before Jibito figures it out. And then he said something even in this chapter that I can't wait any longer. Remember, I can't wait any longer. I've got to do this now. And I don't think that was to fight Hashirama. Of course, I could be totally wrong, but we'll see. I always appreciate your comments. And let's see. This is okay. I got to read this one first. Okay, Conley Bob 9 again, and then there's DT Ninja 31 responds, and then there's a final comment, and then we're done with this week as far as viewer comments for Naruto. And hopefully I won't get flagged for copyright infringement. Okay, Conley Bob 9. Hey Rampage. About viewer comments. I've been thinking recently how we've all been spoiled by this channel. The quality of the comments here doesn't compare to the comments on any other channel I've seen. Now, when I watch over these reviews, then read the comments, I roll my eyes at the trolls. And the comments where people attack each other because they like different characters. Somehow you've managed to set up a channel like this, and I don't know how you did it. Maybe it's your charisma. It is the fact, there's a couple of things together. One of them is I actually am interested in what other people have to say. Not everybody is gifted in that manner. Also, we've managed to ignore and basically run off the trolls that way. And this is the result. You create an environment, okay, and I know we've kind of discussed this a lot. You create an environment where people feel comfortable and they can discuss their ideas. And then all of a sudden they're comparing ideas and this and that. And it's very easy to disagree with each other as long as everybody's a little bit humble. As long as everybody goes, okay, here's my thing, here's my predictions. Maybe this is what happens, maybe not, and then you're kind of, people are more forgiving of what you say, you're more forgiving of what they say. It's just a nice, friendly discussion. Always appreciate your comments. DT Ninja 831. I'll second that. This channel is amazing, and it's because you created an environment where people, I already read this, so, already can respect each other and still share ideas. That is very rare, and I'm glad to be part of this community. Okay, now this is going to be the last comment. I'm going to read the next one, and I'm going to talk just a little bit more about that before I go and close out this video. Okay, Mr. CLG40, this is an overwhelming chapter, a lot of action. Absolutely was crazy with the action. But there was so much when you're seeing the characters interact with others. Just, like I said, I just kept stopping. There's so much history between these characters. It's amazing. Okay, just a little bit about the channel. I keep talking about it, but it keeps being important. One of the things, and like I said, all this I've said before, but I'll try to make it really quick, is once you create this environment, which we have here, where people can actually discuss things, you start noticing that their comments get longer. Okay, once people start to realize that they can comfortably do this, and then you notice the back and forth, even when people are disagreeing with each other. It's actually informative, because if you disagree with me and you lay out your ideas instead of just saying I'm an idiot, I can still learn something from your ideas and agree with parts of it. And then you don't even have to agree to disagree. You just say, okay, you laid out the way you think it's going to go. I laid out the way I think it's going to go. And then, of course, what usually happens is Kishimoto does something else. And we're all humbled by it. But it's a lot of fun on the way there, and we're having a tremendous amount of fun. And the last little piece that I just want to make sure. I am not the most entertaining human being in the world. But if I allow you and everyone else to make your comments and your creativity and your ideas, it can kind of seem that way. Okay? Because you're writing the script that literally what I'm saying right now, all of you, different creative people, are doing this in your perspectives, and I'm just merely voicing it. So everyone has their abilities, and my genius is allowing you to share your ideas and enjoying, and we're all having fun at the same time. So there you are. All right, I always appreciate the kind of ideas. We always have a lot of fun. One week I want to do one of these. It's over an hour, but it isn't going to be this week. It looks like it'll be about 50 minutes. Anyway, I appreciate everyone's efforts, time. This is so enjoyable, and I'm addicted to Crusader Kings 2, the game. Like I say, I've been playing strategy games since I was a kid, Avalon Hill and all this other stuff. So this is a different spin. You're managing families and stuff. The military and all the resources are really minor. It's trying to hold things together. It's insane. But anyway, everyone have fun. Your hobbies are important. Have fun in life while we're alive, okay? And on that note, okay, appreciate everyone's efforts. Anyone can be an anime fan. Anyone can be an anime fan. You can always subscribe. You can always unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time, take care.